good predictions. I'm actually inclined to agree with all of them. I'm slightly surprised you put Jan in the second category.
I just haven't seen anything from Jan for a long time, and he didn't play that well in the World Championship match either. So
let's go back. Let's watch that again. Let's go back. Let's watch that again. Let's watch this.
So the candidates are coming
Here we go.
up, and I'm here with Magnus to ask his views on what's going to happen, and maybe to make some predictions. Magnus, are you excited to watch the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always excited to watch the candidates.
Before we dive in,
The sound is good or not good?
What are your views?
Does it sound good, you guys, or is it the volume is not good? Okay, I'll up it a little bit. Okay, how about now? Let's try it now.
Is it gonna be a close one? Is there going to be a runaway winner?
That's very hard to say. There are usually more decisive games at the candidates tournament than at other like tournaments with similar level of players, and that's obviously because, at least usually, only first place matters, makes the tournaments quite exciting.
Yeah, and it's one of the youngest candidates.
The music is too loud versus voices. I mean, obviously that goes without saying. I'll put it at 0. Let's see. I'll put it at 0 and let's see how it is. Let's start over. Let's start from the beginning. Let's watch it again.
So the candidates are coming up, and I'm here with Magnus to ask his views on what's going to happen, and maybe to make some predictions. Magnus, are you excited to watch the tournament?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Magnus,
always excited.
By the way, before they dive into this, Magnus loves chess. So like, even if he's not playing in the tournament, he loves to watch games that are being played. So like he's always gonna he's a true chesser. I was gonna say gamer, but he's a true chesser. Like, he just loves chess. So like, he always is following these tournaments, even when he's not playing.
The candidates.
Before we dive in with the specific players, what are your views? Is it going to be a close one? Is there going to be a runaway winner?
That's very hard to say. There are usually more decisive games at the candidates tournament.
True.
At other like tournaments with similar level of players, and that's obviously because, at least usually, only first.
Yeah, the background music is annoying.
Matters,
I agree.
Makes the tournament.
It's really annoying.
Quite exciting.
Yeah, and it's one of the youngest candidates ever. Like, do you think that's going to play a role as well in the decisiveness of the event?
I think there are a lot of very good players, but yeah, some of the youngsters are still fairly volatile. So yeah, I think it certainly matters.
Okay, so today we're going to be ranking the 8 players in different categories.
Okay.
Making some predictions along the way.
Okay, so likely to win, top contender, will do well, will do poorly, in for a bad time. Is there really a difference between will do poorly and in for a bad time? These bottom 2 categories look kind of like they're the same thing. I don't really understand what the difference is. Like, I mean, that seems kind of weird. Like, if you're doing poorly, that's the same thing as in for a bad time. It feels like they just shouldn't have, those two are like kind of redundant. But still, yeah. All right. So, if I'm going to take my prediction, here are my quick predictions. Likely to win is probably going to be Fabiano, myself, and maybe Nepo. Top contenders are probably going to be Nepo / Ali Reza, and then I don't really know where the other 4 are going to be placed. Probably Abasov is going to be put in the last category, just because Magnus is going to be brutally honest, if I had to guess. So I'm betting that Fabiano and myself are up here. Nepo and Ali Reza are here. Will do well, maybe Prague. And then I don't know where the other 3 go. Pre-watch? No, I haven't watched it, actually. I saw it on my Twitter, but I did not watch the video. Don't tell me that I'm right. But actually, no, but I have to be right, don't I? Because if Magnus in his podcast said that Fabiano and I are most likely to win, we have to be in the top 2. Unless he changed his mind or this was done. Wait, but the podcast was with 2 different guys, right? Wait, the podcast was done with the Norwegian guys, not with David Howell. So maybe he said something differently.
Mentioned some of them yourself already, but here we go, Magnus. We have the 8 players for you. We're going to start with Alireza Firouzja.
I quite like what I saw from Alireza.
He was good in the Fisher Random.
This year. He did quite well. Reached the final against me. Forced a reset there in the final as well. And like, honestly, like, he was the closest to beat me in freestyle chess as well. So
true.
I am a Alireza true believer. But I think for now we'll put him in the will do well category, which I think is reasonable considering the difficulties.
Ooh, that is a bit of a burn, actually. He said he's going to do well. I mean, I'm going to give you guys a hot take. I said it before, but if Ali Reza does not win the candidates this time around, I think that the junior to watch for, the junior who's probably my big favorite going forward, assuming Alireza does not win this time, is going to be Noterbeck. It's early in the chart, yeah, but I mean, because I'm just saying, like, there are juniors who are catching up to him. So if he doesn't win this time, I would tell you guys that I'm going to bet all my money. Of course, like in so much as you can even bet on chess, I would be betting money on Noterbeck and the next candidates if Alireza is not taking care of business this time. Like if Alireza doesn't win this time, I think the future of the juniors is going to rest more on players like Noterbeck and Prague than Alireza. So I'm a little bit surprised that Magnus put him here and not in the could win category.
Yeah, the last time.
Fair enough. And now it's the turn of Jan Nepomniachtchi. He's won the candidates twice in a row. Two-time World Championship challenger. What do you make of his chances for third time lucky, or 3 in a row?
So Jan really hasn't shown much the last few years except for the candidates. He shows flashes here and there. At the moment, I'm not convinced, but I think he has enough pedigree to be in the top.
Basically what Magnus is saying is he's effectively saying that Jan is great in the candidates and terrible everywhere else. That's what he's saying without I mean, I'm surprised he didn't break out laughing actually, because that is what he's saying. He's saying Jan is good in this one tournament and he's basically terrible everywhere else.
Top contender.
Okay.
Considering he's won Western Row.
Okay. You feel he saves his best for this specific tournament?
I think he saves his best for sure. He's also, had circumstances with him both times, which is fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now it's one of the youngsters that you mentioned, Gukesh. What do you make of his first shot at the candidates?
This will be interesting.
Well?
For Gukesh, it's very hard to say. I cannot imagine him winning, but I could see him being anywhere from like +2 to -5. I think he will certainly win at least a couple of good games, but have some fairly bad losses as well. So I don't think he will do poorly, but I don't think he will do too well either. So he's barely. I don't think he fits into either category, but I think he's not quite ready yet to make the leap. And I think it's probably more likely that he has a bad event than a very good event.
But good experience either way.
So, okay, effectively, I think you guys could already gather as much, but what Magnus is essentially saying is he's saying that Gukesh's openings are going to lead to a lot of volatility. He's going to win some games, but he's going to lose some games. So it's more likely he's going to lose a few games and win less than he's going to win a bunch and lose one. So interesting take from Magnus on Gukesh.
Now it's the turn of Abasov. Maybe the surprise package, qualified from the World Cup last year. He's the underdog, Magnus.
Let's see what Magnus says here.
Continue surprising.
This is going to be rough.
Well, Abasov obviously had an amazing tournament at the World Cup. Whether he can replicate it, it's very, very hard to believe. I think if he gets off to a good start, that can limit the damage severely. But overall, I think he's most likely going to suffer. You could see it with somebody like Wormadam at Tata, who started off extremely well, and then usually once you start losing, it's hard to stop the bleeding if you are a considerably weaker player than the others, which I think Abasov unfortunately is. So I think not have it easy, but I think he's really happy just to be there.
Fair enough. And next, it's the turn of Pragnananda. I know you've been impressed by him in the past. Do you think this could be his year?
I don't think Prague is ready to win the tournament, but I also cannot see it going really poorly for him. He has he has weak moments, but he's fairly stable.
Yeah, he's very solid, very stable.
He has an improving repertoire. It's very serious. So I think Prague is very unlikely to win the tournament, but I cannot see him having a really bad result either.
Okay, and
he's saying he'll draw a bunch of games and win one or two, probably.
Another player who has won the candidates in the past. What do you think? Is this Fabi's turn to get back there to a World Championship match?
I think Fabi has a great chance to win. I mean, his pedigree is very strong. He seems to have regained some strength in classical chess as well after he had a little bit of a down. He's maybe not quite as good as he was at his best, which probably was in 2018. He has a good a chance as any. So I think he definitely
Makes
belongs
sense.
and is likely to win.
Okay, bold, Magnus. Very bold. Okay, now the
Bold?
turn of Vidit.
I think Vidit has improved quite a lot, especially from more of a psychological point. He did really poorly now in Prague. Yeah, which is not a great sign. It doesn't have to mean that much. I think Vidit is sort of in between tiers here, where we'll do well and we'll do poorly. I'm sure he will be very serious, well prepared. He will not win the tournament, although I do think like he has the capacity to make a really good score if things go his way. I really like the way he plays. But I could also see him losing quite a few games. So he's also kind of in between categories, but I think he's more likely to make -4 than +3.
And that brings us to Hikaru,
Ouch.
many fans' favorite player. Do you think this is his year? He's been close in the past.
I think Hikaru's never had a better chance to become world champion than this. I would say.
I mean, I did have a better chance, but I didn't know it at the time when I played Ding in the last round of the candidates last time around. But like in general terms, if you look at it from the perspective of like finishing first, like I haven't really been close to finishing first. That's why like Magnus is right here. When like David says I've been close, I haven't been close to winning the tournament. But of course, I was very close to getting second place last time around.
Our co-favorites. Hikaru has been quite consistent recently in classical chess. I think he has an excellent chance. So I think he belongs.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird because actually, I think if I'm being honest, I think I'm better at classical chess now than I am at rapid. Blitz is a whole different animal, but I think I'm much better at classical now than I am at rapid. Whereas if you go back even to like 2019. I would say like with near certainty, it was the other way around, that I was better at rapid than I was at classical. And now it's the exact opposite. So it is kind of like a weird switch.
Wow, Magnus.
The list is very reasonable. List is very reasonable though. If we look at this list, okay, this makes sense. I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised that Ali Rez is not in this top contender spot. Other than that, it also looks pretty reasonable, but I am surprised that Ali Rez is not in this top contender. That's the one thing that I'm surprised by, actually.
Category.
Wow, Magnus. Good predictions. I'm actually inclined to agree with all of them. I'm slightly surprised you put Jan in the second category.
I just haven't seen anything from Jan for a long time, and he didn't play that well in the World Championship match either. So
Let's go back. Let's watch that again. Let's go back. Let's watch that again.
I just haven't seen anything from Jan for a long time, and he didn't play that well in the World Championship match either. So I'm yet to be completely convinced.
Jeez.
But he's still in the top contender group. Like
he hasn't shown anything. Hasn't shown anything at all.
1A, and then he's 1B, and then there's like very significant gap to the rest.
So there we have it. Candidates starting in Toronto in April. You've heard Magnus's thoughts. We'll be watching. We hope you do too.
That is hilarious, you guys. That is pretty funny, actually. That was really funny.